Good day, fellow crafters. Welcome back to the Forget Me Not Card Company YouTube channel. I'm Tamara the Card Creator, and today we're crafting this Day of the Dead inspired card. The Day of the Dead is a vibrant Mexican tradition that honors the lives of those who have passed away. Often mistaken for a spooky holiday like Halloween, it's actually a joyous celebration of life and remembrance. Join me as we create a card that captures the spirit of this meaningful celebration, blending vibrant colors and heartfelt memories. Today, we are using these stamps for I Break for Stamps. The floral skull is on the left and the Zen is on the right. I'm going to be using my alcohol ink markers, coloring each of these to the fullest. I typically start with my darkest. However, in these skulls, I actually start with my light, then move to my medium, followed by my dark, to create the perfect blend on each of my elements. After I am done with the one on the left, which is from the floral, I then move to my Zen, which is going to be the one on the right. The Zen skull actually really spoke to me. I am an avid scuba diver, and anything aquatic speaks to my heart and fills me with joy. These alcohol ink markers are very easy to use. To be honest, I'm not even sure the brand. They're one that I got at a discount, but I love to use them on projects just like this because you really don't know what you're going to get because typically the colors don't match the top. Now that my coloring is done, I want to fussy cut my skulls out. It takes just a moment to do this, and what I do is just cut along the lines of my skulls. When you are fussy cutting, it's important to keep your scissors straight up. Most of the time, people, I think, in our mind's eye, feel as if we need to turn the scissors, but that's not true. You're supposed to keep the scissors straight and turn your paper to meet the scissors. Whenever you have a design that you have fussy cut it out, I don't like the white edge, so I typically take a dark Copic marker, such as this black or like a dark gray, and you turn your project away from you and run your marker along the edge. It's important that you turn your marker away from you so that it doesn't slip and ruin your beautiful design. In my mind's eye, I knew I wanted to create a slimline card. So I used this Hero Arts Infinity die, and it's going to work perfectly for what I am envisioning. The heart in the center is actually from a January 2021 Spellbinders kit, Calligraphy Heart. I did foil that with a bright pink floral, which I think is a beautiful accent to what I'm creating. Now on to my background. For my background, I'm going to be using several different colors of lunar paste. I'm going to use Psych, Roar, Rosy Cheek, and Clear Sky. Now you may be thinking, Tamara, you have lost your mind blending these colors together, but I promise you, this is gorgeous once it's done. Although it does look like a hot mess right now, it won't when I'm finished. I want to take a moment to note that my sentiment is on an edge of paper, and I did leave the stamp in my MISTI so that I can restamp my sentiment when I'm done. But I wanted my colors to match so that it blended seamlessly with my background and didn't stand out. I know right now you are screaming at me, Tamara, why are you adding the blue skies? That's gonna make this crazy. No, you will see when I'm done. This is stunning, and it actually gives it that little extra touch, which is exactly what I'm looking for. It's important whenever you are using the lunar paste or the solar paste that you let it dry completely before embossing or doing anything of the sort. So as you can see, I'm I'm stamping back my sentiment. I am going to put clear embossing powder over top just to heat set that, just because that lunar paste can be a little slippery. It is a type of binder, and I don't want it to smear. I've heard before where people don't like to use red rubber stamps that are not mounted. And they ask me all the time, Tamara, how do you get your red rubber stamps to stay onto your Misty? What I do is use removable adhesive, put it on the back of the red rubber, and then place my Misty door on top. Perfect placement every time and never comes apart. When I'm done, just peel it, good to go. Now, my background is dry, and I definitely want to emboss that background. I am using the Spellbinder's beveled diamond. And now we're going to see the wow factor. Are you sitting down? I hope so. Look at that. The wow factor has arrived. And in real life, it is breathtaking. I can't even begin to tell you how beautiful, shiny, bright, and cheerful this is. Lovely. Absolutely stunning. I do put quite a bit of Barely Arts glue on the back just because there are quite a bit of grooves there, and I want to make sure that my adhesive sticks perfectly. Now, I want to adhere my beautiful elements all together. One more look at that beautiful background. Now, my skulls, I kind of have to put them a little bit at an angle versus up and down, but that's okay. It turns out great anyways. I know I want my heart in the center, and I'm just kind of visually seeing, where does everything go? Now that my heart's going to be placed in the center, I can then decide where I want my sugar skulls to go. I start with 1 block, 2 block, and in a moment, I go to 4, because I know with all that texture with my embossed background, I need it to adhere. Now, onto my sentiment. I do use my Altenew adhesive. I love the foam strips. They're perfect. And I'm deciding, do I want 1 or do I want to double it up? 1, I think, is going to be perfect. However, my conundrum here is, do I want it at the top or do I want it at the bottom? I ultimately ended up choosing the bottom. I would love to know what you would have chosen. Leave your comments below. Whenever I have adhesive such as my foam tape, I do add a little bit of liquid glue, which allows me to have a little bit more wiggle room, which I definitely need. Although this looks great, I had the foil, I have that beautiful background, I want my flowers to have a little bit more oomph. So, out the liquid pixie dust from Ink on 3 with a little bit of a paintbrush. I dab a little bit of this on, and it gives it that extra sparkle. So beautiful. As you can see, I'm just going around my florals here. And I start with the floral sugar skull and then onto my Zen sugar skull. And I do the florals on both. Once I'm done with the florals, I do go to the eyes as well as the nose. And the feeling that I get, it almost reminds me of like graphite. You know, like when you are looking at almost like black sandpaper and it has that little bit of texture. That's what these eyes and nose look like to me once I added this pixie dust to it. Again, very unique and beautiful. Everything has now dried, and I want you to look at this beauty. That background, the foil, the beautiful florals, absolutely lovely. If this video inspired you, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more creative tips, design inspiration, and fun projects. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you'll always be first to know when new content drops. Thanks so much for crafting with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.